First contact distress. The astral sentinel drifted through the void beyond Mars, its solar panels glinting in the distant sunlight. As Earth's furthest deep space monitoring station, it had been positioned to provide early warning of asteroids and to conduct research. No one expected it to make first contact. Lieutenant Sarah Donovan stared at her console, double-checking the readings. The signal had appeared 30 minutes ago, weak but unmistakably artificial, and definitely not human in origin. She activated the emergency protocol and sent a burst transmission to Earth Command. Houston, this is Astral Sentinel. We're picking up an artificial signal from beyond Mars orbit. Signal pattern indicates intelligent design, non-terrestrial origin, requesting immediate guidance. Dr. Eli Harper, the station's senior scientist, floated up behind her in the microgravity. Are you absolutely certain it's not one of ours? Positive, sir. The modulation pattern doesn't match anything in our database, and the trajectory suggests it's coming from outside the solar system. Harper's face paled slightly. Let me see. For years, humanity had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now, on a random Tuesday in April 2157, they were about to get their answer. The signal grew stronger over the next hour. Earth Command ordered all personnel to observe radio silence, while experts worked to decode the transmission. Then, 3 hours after initial detection, something unexpected happened. The signal changed. It's English, Donovan whispered in disbelief. The message repeated in a flat mechanical voice. To any receiving civilization, this is Captain Saller of the research vessel Tallyran. We are critically damaged and require immediate assistance. Hostile forces pursue us. We seek sanctuary. Please respond. Harper's hands trembled as he composed a reply. This is Earth Deep Space Monitoring Station Astral Sentinel. We have received your transmission. Please provide your current location and speed. The response came quickly. Thank you for responding. Our navigation systems are damaged. Based on stellar positioning, we are approaching your 4th and 5th planets. Life support failing. 22 crew members aboard. 8 injured. Cannot sustain longer than 14 of your Earth days. Within hours, the message had reached every government on Earth. The United Earth Defense Council convened an emergency session. In the Grand Chamber in Geneva, representatives debated the appropriate response. This could be a trap, warned the Russian delegate, a pretext for invasion. Or it could be exactly what it appears to be, a distress call, countered the Nigerian representative. This is no different than a ship in trouble on our oceans. We have a moral obligation to assist. Captain Maya Chen listened silently. As commander of the UED's newest vessel, the Armstrong, she suspected she would be involved in whatever happened next. The Armstrong was humanity's first true deep space rescue vessel, designed for operations throughout the solar system. Admiral Jackson finally addressed the room. The decision has been made. We will respond to this distress call. Captain Chen, your vessel will intercept the alien ship and render assistance. Your mission is humanitarian in nature, but security protocols will remain at level Alpha. Understood. Chen nodded. Yes, sir. When do we launch? In 6 hours. Full briefing in 30 minutes. As Chen left the chamber, a civilian scientific advisor fell into step beside her. Captain Chen, Dr. Emma Rodriguez. I've been assigned as stenobiologist for your mission. Welcome aboard, Doctor. Any insights I should know about? Rodriguez's eyes sparkled with excitement. Only that you're about to make history. First documented contact with an extraterrestrial species. Let's hope they're friendly. Chen's face remained impassive, but her mind raced through contingency plans. The Armstrong launched from Lunar Base Alpha right on schedule. With its fusion drive operating at full capacity, they would reach the alien vessel in just under 3 days. The crew of 40 consisted of military personnel, medical staff, engineers, and a small science team. On the 3rd day, they made visual contact. The alien ship resembled an elongated teardrop, with crystalline protrusions along its hull. Massive scorch marks mirrored one side, and debris trailed behind it like a comet's tail. "Open a channel," Chen ordered. "Captain Sailor, this is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Armstrong. We are approaching your position to render assistance." The view screen flickered, and for the first time, humanity gazed upon an alien face. Captain Sailor had bluish-gray skin, large almond-shaped eyes with horizontal pupils, and no visible nose. Just small breathing slits. A translucent membrane blinked sideways across those eyes before the alien spoke. "Captain Chen, your arrival brings great relief. We feared our distress call would go unanswered." Chen maintained her professional demeanor despite her racing heart. "We're preparing to dock with your vessel. Our team includes medical personnel who will assist your injured." Zadler's expression changed in a way Chen couldn't interpret. "Your willingness to help is unexpected. In our database, your planet is classified as a Deathworld." "A Deathworld?" Dr. Rodriguez whispered from behind Chen. "Yes," Zadler continued. "High gravity, extreme atmospheric pressure, volatile weather patterns, dangerous wildlife, and high background radiation. Most spacefaring species evolved on much gentler worlds. The fact that your species evolved on such a planet and survived to develop space travel is remarkable." Chen exchanged glances with her officers. "We just call it home." The docking procedure went smoothly. Medical teams in containment suits entered the alien vessel first, followed by engineers. The interior was filled with a slightly thicker atmosphere than Earth's, with higher oxygen content. Dr. Rodriguez approached the first alien she saw, a crew member with darker skin than Sailor and 4 upper limbs instead of 2. "Hello, I'm Dr. Rodriguez. I'm here to help." The alien regarded her with those strange horizontal pupilled eyes. "You are not wearing environmental protection. Our atmosphere contains elements toxic to most species." Rodriguez smiled. "Our preliminary scans showed nothing immediately dangerous to humans. We're tougher than we look." Meanwhile, Captain Chen met with Sailor on the Tolerance Bridge. The alien ship's technology was clearly more advanced than Earth's, but the damage was extensive. "What happened to your vessel?" Chen asked. Sailor's membrane blinked rapidly. "We were attacked by the Vex Collective. They are expansionists, conquerors. We are scientists from the Solarian Alliance. We discovered something the Vex wanted: stellar maps to resource-rich systems outside their territory. And they attacked you for maps. The Vex do not negotiate. They take." Sailor moved to a display panel. "Captain Chen, I must warn you. Our distress signal was broadcast openly. The Vex will have detected it. They will come here." Chen's expression hardened. "To our solar system? To Earth?" "Yes, and when they discover that you've assisted us, they will consider you enemies." Sailor's voice lowered. "I am truly sorry to bring this danger to your world. How much time do we have?" "Days, perhaps. Their vessels are faster than yours." Sailor hesitated. "Though I must admit, we did not expect to find such advanced technology on a Deathworld. Your species has progressed remarkably quickly." Chen tapped her communicator. "XO, contact Earth Command immediately. Priority Alpha. We have a situation." The rescue operation accelerated. Engineers determined that the Talaran could not be saved. Its drive system was beyond repair. Instead, they focused on evacuating the alien crew and transferring essential equipment to the Armstrong. Back on Earth, governments scrambled to prepare for an alien threat they knew almost nothing about. Military forces worldwide went on high alert. Scientists worked frantically with the Solarian refugees to understand Vex technology and tactics. 5 days after the rescue, long-range sensors detected multiple objects entering the solar system at tremendous speed. In the White House Situation Room, President Reyes addressed the United Earth Defense Council. "Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we have a fleet of hostile alien vessels approaching Earth. Captain Chen, and the Solarian refugees estimate their arrival in 36 hours. Admiral Jackson stood. Madam President, we've incorporated some Solarian technology into our defensive systems, but we're still outmatched. The Vex fleet consists of at least 12 capital ships and numerous smaller vessels. What about evacuation? Asked the Chinese representative. Evacuation to where? Rise replied. This is our home. We stand and fight. Captain Sailor, now recovered enough to join the briefing via video link, spoke up. If I may, there is something you should understand about the Vex. They rely heavily on predictive algorithms. Their tactics are methodical, calculated for maximum efficiency against known variables. And how does that help us? Jackson asked. Because humans are not a known variable. Sailor's alien features formed what might have been a smile. You evolved on a Deathworld. Your biology, psychology, and tactics will be unfamiliar to them. The Vex struggle against the unpredictable. Chen, standing beside Sailor, nodded. We need to use that to our advantage. Hit and run tactics, unconventional approaches. They'll expect us to defend Earth directly, Jackson mused. What if we don't? A plan began to form. A desperate, seemingly irrational plan that might just work against an enemy that expected logical behavior from its opponents. As the Vex fleet approached, humanity prepared for the first interstellar war in Earth's history, but they would not fight as the Vex expected. They would fight as Deathworlders, adaptable, unpredictable, and unwilling to surrender their home without unleashing every dirty trick they could conceive. The first shots of the conflict were hours away, and the future of humanity hung in the balance. Deathworlders rising. Admiral Zhao of the Vex Collective studied the blue-green planet on his view screen with cold calculation. Earth was not impressive by galactic standards. A standard Class T world with excessive water coverage and volatile weather patterns. Yet somehow it had produced a spacefaring species that had interfered with Vex operations. Tactical analysis complete, Admiral reported his second-in-command. The humans have minimal orbital defenses. Their technology is primitive compared to ours. However, they appear to have integrated some Solarian systems in the past few days. Desperate improvisation. Zhao dismissed. Initiate standard conquest protocol. Begin with a demonstration strike on their largest military installation to establish dominance. Yes, Admiral. The massive Vex dreadnought, inevitable dominance, moved into position. Its primary weapon array charged, targeting the North American Joint Defense Command in Colorado. The energy beam lanced down through Earth's atmosphere and hit nothing. Report, Zhao demanded. The installation, it's gone, Admiral. Preliminary scans show it was evacuated and disguised with holographic technology. Before Zhao could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. 3 smaller human vessels had appeared seemingly from nowhere, emerging from the planet's blind spot behind its moon. They weren't approaching the Vex fleet directly but instead fired missiles at odd angles into space. Ignore them, Zhao ordered. Their weapons cannot reach us at this distance. His tactical officer looked confused. Admiral, the missiles aren't targeted at our ships. They appear to be creating a dispersed field of debris and energy disruptions around us. Zhao's expression darkened. This makes no tactical sense. Then smaller vessels, hundreds of them, launched from Earth and its moon. But instead of forming organized battle formations, they scattered in seemingly random patterns, no two taking the same approach vector. What is this chaos? Zhao demanded. Aboard the Armstrong, now serving as Earth's mobile command center, Captain Chen monitored the battle alongside Captain Sailor. Phase 1 complete, reported her tactical officer. The Vex are maintaining defensive positions, trying to identify patterns in our movements. Chen nodded. They won't find any. Each pilot has independent authority to engage using their own judgment, within parameters. Sailor watched with fascination. This approach would be considered madness by most spacefaring civilizations. Organized, coordinated attacks are the foundation of fleet tactics. Organized attacks are predictable, Chen replied. And from what you've told us, the Vex rely on prediction. The human strategy was deliberately chaotic. The initial missiles had created a field of electromagnetic interference and physical debris that confused Vex sensors. The scattered Earth vessels, each modified with crude but effective Solarian shielding technology, darted through this interference, appearing and disappearing from Vex tracking systems. On the inevitable dominance, Zhao's carefully calculated battle plan was unraveling. Their vessels are too small and erratic for our main weapons to target effectively, reported his weapons officer. And they're not attacking our vulnerable points. They're hitting random sections of our hulls with minimal damage. Then why attack at all? Zhao growled. This strategy accomplishes nothing. But he was wrong. The seemingly ineffective human attacks were tactical distractions. Meanwhile, 3 Earth vessels had reached the far side of Mars, where they activated the real threat, a massive electromagnetic pulse weapon, cobbled together from Solarian technology and human ingenuity. The pulse swept across the solar system, precisely calibrated to affect Vex systems while leaving Earth technology functional. Throughout the Vex fleet, secondary systems failed, communication arrays went dark, and sensor grids collapsed. Now, Chen ordered. Earth's vessels converged from all directions, no longer random but precisely coordinated. Their weapons targeted the now identified weak points in Vex shield configurations. Admiral Zhao stared in disbelief as his fleet's advantage evaporated. Impossible. Their tactics defy all strategic logic. Admiral, his second-in-command reported, we're detecting another anomaly. The humans appear to have modified their satellite network. They're generating a planet-wide gravitational distortion field. Zhao's eyes widened. They're using Solarian gravitic technology on a planetary scale. That's beyond their capabilities. But that was precisely what humanity had done. With the Solarians' help, Earth's existing satellite network had been hastily converted into a massive gravitational defense system. It wouldn't last long. The power requirements were too extreme, but it didn't need to. The gravitational distortions played havoc with Vex targeting systems and drive capabilities. Several smaller Vex vessels, attempting to descend into Earth's atmosphere, were caught in gravitational eddies and collided with each other. Admiral, the tactical officer reported, voice strained. We've lost 6 destroyers and 3 cruisers. Our remaining vessels report multiple system failures. Zhao had never experienced defeat. The Vex Collective had conquered 12 systems without significant resistance. Their predictive algorithms had always provided the optimal strategy for subjugation. But Earth wasn't following the rules. On the Armstrong, Chen received reports of Vex losses with grim satisfaction. They're pulling back their smaller vessels. Their formation is breaking down. Zayler nodded. The Vex don't adapt well to failure. Their entire tactical doctrine is based on infallible prediction. Then let's give them something else they can't predict. Chen opened a channel to all Earth vessels. Execute Operation Hornet's Nest. Earth's smaller fighters, which had been harassing the Vex fleet from all directions, suddenly converged on a single target, the inevitable dominance itself. Not to destroy it, but to breach its hull in specific locations. Inside the Vex flagship, alarms blared as breaches were reported throughout the lower decks. They're boarding us. Zhao couldn't hide his disbelief. This is madness. No species attempts boarding actions in modern warfare. But these boarders weren't conventional soldiers. They were combat-modified robots, controlled remotely by human operators, safely back on Earth. Each carried a small but powerful explosive device. Strategic positions compromised, reported Zhao's security chief. The robots are targeting our power distribution nodes. Zhao finally understood. Evacuate the ship. All personnel to escape vessels immediately. It was too late. The coordinated explosions severed the inevitable dominance's power grid, leaving the massive dreadnought dead in space, with their flagship disabled and their remaining vessels damaged or retreating. The Vex invasion force had been defeated. 3 days later, Captain Chen and Captain Sailor stood before the United Earth Defense Council, presenting the after-action report. The Vex fleet has withdrawn beyond Saturn's orbit, Chen reported. Based on their current trajectory, they're returning to Vex space. President Reyes nodded. And will they return with reinforcements? Sailor stepped forward. The Vex Collective has never experienced defeat like this. Their strategic doctrine doesn't account for Deathworlders like humans. They will need to completely recalibrate their approach before attempting another invasion. How long will that take them? Asked the Indian representative. Months, perhaps years, Sailor replied. The Vex are methodical to a fault. They will not act until they believe they have a guaranteed victory. Then we have time, Rice said. Time to prepare, time to adapt more of your technology, time to strengthen our defenses. Chen cleared her throat. Madam President, Captain Sailor, and the Solarian refugees have made an additional proposal. Sailor stepped forward. The Solarian alliance has long stood against Vex expansion, but we lack the unpredictability that makes your species so effective against them. We propose a formal alliance between Earth and the Solarian worlds. We can provide advanced technology. You can provide tactical innovation and your unique perspective as Deathworld inhabitants. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity, which had believed itself alone in the universe less than 2 weeks ago, was now being offered membership in an interstellar alliance. President Reyes stood. Captain Sailor, we would be honored to join the Solarian alliance. Together, perhaps we can ensure the Vex will think twice before threatening any peaceful world again. In the observation deck of the Armstrong, now orbiting Earth after the battle, Captain Chen stood beside Dr. Rodriguez, looking down at their home planet. Do you think we're ready for this? Rodriguez asked. Interstellar politics, potential wars across the stars. Chen considered the question. 2 weeks ago, I would have said no, but we've adapted to first contact, a refugee crisis, and an alien invasion in less than a fortnight. If there's one thing that defines humanity, it's our ability to adapt. Because we're Deathworlders, Rodriguez mused. That's right. Chen smiled. The galaxy classified Earth as too dangerous for civilized species. Maybe they were right, just not in the way they thought. Below them, Earth continued its eternal orbit around the Sun, no longer an isolated world, but a new power in the galactic community. A Deathworld whose inhabitants had just proven that evolution in harsh conditions created not just survivors, but warriors who would answer a distress call with compassion and answer aggression with unstoppable ingenuity. The stars would never look quite the same again.